at how to deal with strings and arrays. In this next lesson, we're actually going to be looking at what a two-dimensional array is. Now, a two-dimensional array is an array inside of an array. And with that, you'll be seeing it as a table and how to fill it out. So it makes a little bit more sense when you think of it as a table with rows and columns. Now, through this, you will see me talking about an array, a 2D array in this way. And I'm going to throw up right now a picture of a table, and you'll hear me explaining that throughout this. So when thinking about arrays, so this is here for a normal array. We just add like score, and then we just have a little empty like this. This is how we would write it. But for a 2D array, we write with 2 square brackets, and that is how arrays are written. And then we look at, say, a table now, because that is how a 2D array is looked at, as a table. Let me break this up into a table real quick. Now, this first number right here is going to be our rows, and then this one is our columns. So this is row 0, column 0. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So in this, we have a 3 by 4. So here, if I would say input information into 1, 1, that would be in this spot here. So let's put 85. And then let's say 0, 0, I put a 2, a 900. So I'm just putting in some random information here. Okay, so this is how it would be looked. I just populated this table with some information. Now, what we're going to be looking at is, if I say, how do you get this information from here? Then I'll be like, hey, what value is 7 at? So I would be looking for, on a test, if you would write like score sub 2, sub 2. So you would be telling me this information here. And that's how it would be on a test. So that is good information to know. But this is how a 2D array looks in a visual setting. And then you will see how we write them in code. Now that we have seen how a 2D array operates within a table, let's write one to see how we would get it to fill in those rows of the table. So to do this, we're going to do a very simple basic one where we need to get some information from the user. So we're going to say final int divs equal 3, final int quarters equals 4. So we're going to get some company data, some sales data from a company. There we go. I like that a little bit better. And there's 3 divisions, so like say the product division, the marketing, whatever. And there's 4 quarters. So each division will have sales for each quarter. And then we want to add them up. So double total sales equals 0.0. And this is our accumulator. And this is 4 quarters. And then 3 divisions. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create an array to hold the sales for each division and each quarter. So we're going to say double array of array, because that's what a 2D array is. It's an array of an arrays. And we're going to call this sales equal new double, and then it's going to be divs and quarters. And now scanner, keyboard, system.in. And then we want to display an intro. So I can just say system.out.println. This program will calculate the total sales for each division and each quarter. I'm going to put a slash in here just so that it will go on the new line when I run it. Okay. Now I'm going to just say system.out.println, enter sales below. And then now we need to iterate through these, a 2D array. We're going to do a nested loop. So nested loops. So this first one, we're going to enter in the sales. So we're going to say for int div equals 0. Div is less than divs. Div plus plus. So as you remember when I was explaining with the chart, this first box here is our rows, and the second one is our columns. So we're having 3 rows. So this is our rows in the table, our columns in the table. And then we need another for loop for int qtr equals 0, qtr less than qtrs, qtr plus plus. And then now we're just going to say system.out.printf. We're going to say division %d, modulus d, which stands for the integers because that's the data type. And then we're going to say quarter modulus d, $, just so we can enter that information in. And then here we're going to div plus 1, so we can say starting out number 1 for division 1, and then same thing for quarter. So we're just starting it at that increment. And then to store the information in a 2D array is the same way we would store it in a regular array. We just say the name of the array, so sales div qtr equals keyboard.next double. And there we are. So now this is end, and after each time we go through the 4 quarters for one division, I want to print out a blank line. So end, add info to 2D array. Now we're going to create another nested loop, but this time is to add all that numbers together and then display the total. So nested loop to add all the data. So it's going to be the same loop basically. So I'm just going to copy all of this. I'm going to paste it because I need all that information, but I want to get rid of this. All we're doing is total sales plus equals sales sub div sub qtr. And then I don't need this. And then add to total sales. And then right here, we're just going to say system.out.print line or print f, and we're going to say total company sales $ modulus comma dot to f slash n comma total sales. And that's it. So let's run this and let's see how it works. And I have an issue. Total sales, because I forgot to write an L somewhere. Total sales. There we go. Okay, so quarter 1. So it doesn't really matter if we put a cents there because it automatically, since we're dealing with doubles, it's going to put 1 in there for us. Let's see how much our company made this month. We made $1 million. Woo! Good. So you see, so it started with row 1, column 1, then row 1, column 2, etc. So it just kept filling in the data, and then finally it added it all up. So just like I had explained with showing you the table, this is how it is working on this one. Now, in regards to, I'm just going to show it really quickly. So to just show a table, 2D array to initialize it, we would do like this. Let's say nums equal curly brace, then you write your values. That's row 1. Then, this is a nice, easy way to see it. This here is row 2. And then, this is row 3. So now I have 3 rows with 4 columns each. This is a nice way to visualize it. And then here, we're dealing with the dot length. And with a 2D array, the dot length only will tell us how many rows we have. So that's what this program is going to do. So system.out.print the number of rows are. I'm going to say nums.length. So it's just going to tell me there are 3 rows. But then to display the number of columns in each row, we're going to say for int index equals 0. Index is less than nums.length index plus plus. And then here, we're just going to say system.out.println the number of columns in row. So here we're going to put a plus index. So we're starting out with 0 is plus nums sub index dot length. So it's just going to tell us what it is. So it's going to display there are 3 rows. The number of rows in column 0 is 4, 1 is 2. You get the idea. Now here I could put in another value or 2. And then if I run this, row 3 has 7 values. So that's how it works with the dot length function or method in this. Now, to pass a 2D array into a method, same way, and that will be in the next video, is how to pass a 2D array into a method.